tie us tight. What's up, everybody? First inaugural Foster BJJ live stream Q&A class. Hope everybody's doing good this weekend. Keeping in good spirits. Please, if you have any questions, technical questions, anything like that, ask it in the chat. We have two lovely ladies monitoring the chat, so let us know, and we'll do our best to fulfill your requests within reason. This isn't a paid stream, so. What do we have?
Michelle can't hear Scott.
Well, technical difficulties on your end,
Tell
Michelle.
her good for her.
I can't chat without setting up a chat channel. So
You should be able to chat like anybody else on there.
it says create a channel to join the chat.
People are just joining on this.
Oh, she can hear the girls, she just can't hear us. Or can't hear you guys. So
There's no directional audio. It has no way of separating you and us, so I don't know why that would be occurring. Can you hear me now, Michelle?
Or should we
Ask,
scoot back?
can other people on there hear me?
can other people hear him?
Check, check, 1, 2, 1, 2. You guys
Oh.
hear me?
Yeah, it looks like yes.
All right.
She said just talk loud.
Yeah, maybe you be farther, he'll relocate away from them, so
Okay.
take your laptop so you can.
Well, I'm just making sure you guys are framed good. I'm 6 feet away.
I can only hear you, you're right on top of the phone. Yeah, now they should be able to hear us. Can you guys hear us now?
Just give us thumbs up.
We're yes, our production assistants are,
Instagram is
Yeah.
great.
Instagram's good.
Yeah.
All right, hit us with some questions. What do you guys got? We can't just sit here and look beautiful for extended periods of time.
I'm too expensive for that. Alright, or we could just kick it off by showing
I
something.
think we're just gonna kick it off by showing something everybody's shy. What do you
Yeah.
wanna show? I got something.
Yeah?
Yeah, just a little lapel stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, let's start with you down though. Get my guard. You guys see us okay on there?
Good frame?
Just tell us to move. You don't need to adjust the camera so we can move back.
Alright.
The Instagram is too close.
We can always scoot back. We don't need to move the cameras.
Okay. It's just that Instagram is vertical.
Oh, right.
How's that?
That's much better.
Cool.
Alright, so just something fun I've been playing around with. By no means did I invent this or anything, so I don't want anybody coming down on me. I haven't given it a name yet, so we'll just go from here. What I like to do, instead of trying to open the lapel from here where you can see it coming, of course Scott's going to block if he sees me opening the lapel here. What I'm going to do instead, first I'm going to start controlling the posture, and I'm going to change the angle. Okay, after I change the angle, I'm going to reach under my own leg here. When I reach under my own leg, I'm going to start opening the lapel underneath. So I'm hiding this from him. Once I have the lapel open, I'm going to feed it to my other hand. Okay? After I've fed it to my other hand, I'm still staying out on my hip here. I want to stay to the side. Now there's two different ways, depending on your level of flexibility, that you'll need to do this. One, you'll need to take this and actually place it here. Bring your foot high, lace it around your foot, and then get the grip. Those of you that are more flexible, you simply just get to your side, climb the leg high, loop the lapel lapel around. From here, what's nice is just from an element of control, I can really stretch him away here, exposing attacks on this side of the body. Obviously, you could create opening for your triangle on the other side. Okay, another thing we can do, if we push him away, and we start feeling him push in, you can simply start to turn, widen the leg, bring him to the side. Okay, let's scoot over here. Oh, carry me, Scott.
I assume we went out of frame.
Yep.
Yeah, why don't you just follow us with the vertical one?
Again, from here, I'm pushing away, getting him to push in. I'm just gonna pendulum. From here, you can set up all sorts of fun stuff. Start attacking your arm locks, triangles, whatever you like at that point. Fun thing about the lapel stuff, you can be creative, come up with your own little style on it. It's not something too restrictive. What do you have to add?
Just a really good point, especially when you're doing this lapel stuff to larger folks and you're pushing with your leg. I'm just gonna pull it up straight
Yep.
to it. Is two things. One is don't try to lift directly this way, right? If we're going from, and just try to open like that, I'm gonna hurt my knee. So what I need to do first is, like Coach said, I need to really accentuate that push and then be open. And you'll see how much control we have, right? But if you try to lift straight away, it'll work, but you'll hurt your knee. And then the other thing is from this position, you can also put your foot all the way through to what Keenan Cornelius calls gubber guard. And what we found is it's even better. Say what?
It says live video pause.
Okay.
It looks
Don't
like
pause the video.
it looks good on this.
So from this gubber guard that Keenan Cornelius calls it, because it kind of looks like rubber guard, but with the knee, if you hug your own knee, it's super heavy. Right?
Lots of pressure.
Versus being here, and you can start to posture a little bit easier. I still have his bicep out, but so that's it. It's a really fun position. Something that both Coach and I were playing with for the old quarantine.
Yes. What other questions do we have on there?
Well, the live video was starting to pause because we had poor connection, but it seems to be fine now.
Okay.
Anything on YouTube?
Nothing on YouTube yet. We only got 8 people on YouTube.
So somebody else also said it paused on our end.
Yeah, and it didn't even
Because the connection got
connection got disconnected.
sketchy. Does it look like it's going now though?
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys see the whole technique and get the details, or do you need to see it again?
Becca's monitoring the chat on that one. Yep.
And then there's delay, so.
We need to be,
I can see here.
yes, but then they can hear you.
I'm not making any noise.
You are though.
I wasn't
The
though.
audio will focus on you if you're near it.
It says, Professor James, what are you doing to stay sharp during these times?
A lot of content creation, a lot of filming and editing video for all of my students, and I've been releasing all the videos that I've been creating to the public, so trying to help everybody during this time. All my content I'm putting out will be on YouTube and Instagram. Having to put the videos on my IGTV because longer videos. I can't put the short clips, but it'll all be on IGTV. It'll all be on YouTube moving forward. Anything I create, I put about 13 solo drill videos on. It's actually more techniques in each video, but 13 videos total available to everybody via the YouTube channel and IGTV as well. So just keeping my mind sharp, filming content and editing, and I haven't really had time to study anything on my own. What else?
We got 2 requests to see it again.
2 requests to see it again. All right.
Wait, Fred.
Again.
Is this my good side?
This is. So, again, I'm going to control the posture. You can do this in any way that you like. It doesn't have to be necessarily a grip behind the neck. Nice thing is, you can be creative, come up with your own way, however you like to break the posture. But the main thing I want you to think about is getting to your side here. When I get to my side, I'm going to go under my own leg, and I'm going to start opening his lapel from underneath. Once I get it loosened up, I can usually come over here and start breaking it loose the rest of the way. Now, from being on my side, I'm going to bring the leg high. If you have a flexibility issue, you might not be able to hold this and put your foot in. If you need to, just lace it around, give it to the other hand. The trick is being on your side though. If you're too square here, you might have trouble. Get here, now we can get it. Now from this point, I want to get a reaction. So I'm going to try to push him this direction. When I start to feel him push back in, I'm going to either scoop under or just get a pant leg grip, whatever is easy for you. Widening my leg. And over here. Let's rotate. Stop. From here, keeping this control. Nice thing about this is that even if I release the grip on the lapel, the way my foot is stuck, it's still controlling his shoulder on the far side. So now we can start to attack, we can release it, go for our arm lock, obviously start coming over to attack triangles, whatever you like to do, depending on your style of jiu-jitsu. Do they want to see the other part as well?
Any specific questions?
Cover guard or?
I don't have any questions about the gubber guard, but I do have a request to show a counter defense to a standing ankle lock.
Bevo did ask for Gubber. I didn't know what it was.
Oh, okay.
What now?
Yeah,
There was one request for Gubber.
For Gubber? Okay. You want to show that, sir? I'll undo this for you.
So the gubber is really similar to what Coach Foster just showed. The trick is really being on your side. Flip it up. Now instead of in gubber, you can use this to push, but it's mostly a posture controlling position. So I'm going to put it over my own ankle and I'm going to get this cross grip on. And then I hug my own knee and I can put a lot of pressure on this inside shoulder.
Ton of control here.
Right? And so from here, I'm going to be working this inside knee up and around, extending, coming to the omoplata, all sorts of space the back take. Right? Lots of options.
Ton of different openings there.
But it's basically the same thing. Both, you want to be all the way on your side. We're going to make use of the lapel to hold the person down. What might not be coming through in the video is just how much it digs into your armpit.
Yeah, it's a ton of control under the armpit and on the shoulder. A lot of pressure.
I
And
remember the day we started drilling this, I
Oh,
came
yeah.
home, I had bruises in my
Raspberry.
armpit.
one thing, like Scott was saying, we can be in this position and very easily abandon this. All I have to do is let my heel slip through. Once I let my heel slip through, this is over the top. Now I switch my grip. And I want you to really make sure, keep your elbow in. Keep a bend in this arm. You don't want your arm straight here. Okay, that might give him a chance to counter. So I'm going to keep my elbow bent. And there's a sneaky choke here. You just go palm away, and we sneak under, get whatever we can grab on the far side. Get a nice choke setup from here as well.
The gubber stuff. And as somebody who plays rubber guard,
There was-
gubber guard is much nicer on my knees. It's much easier to do, I think.
So you have a question on whether it's similar to Williams guard, and also can you show a counter defense to standing ankle lock?
Okay, yes, it's very similar to Williams guard. Just basically a variation of Williams guard playing using the lapel to create the frame. Just a little different mechanics, but overall relatively the same idea.
Williams guard, cover guard, rubber guard, I think the old school rack guard, like a lot of them are just built out of getting on your side and getting a reinforced overhook. So they're all going to have really similar ways to achieve the position, really similar attacks. It's just they vary a little in how they're choosing to exert control over your opponent.
Standing ankle lock defense? Is this is this somebody who rolls with Trevin?
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
So I'm assuming you're standing in my guard and you're here.
Right?
Is this what they're referring to?
Let me see. Is that what you're referring to?
I think.
Or do you?
Yes.
Right, there was a yes, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like it.
Well,
Yes, exactly.
Let's do that.
okay. Yeah, let's get back. Yeah. Good thing those pants were tied on tight. Very first thing here, as soon as I feel this, and some of you might need to frame off of the person to be able to elevate your hips, but you don't need to. You can just elevate and turn your heel in to free your foot. And that's the most common one here, okay? Free my heel. You'll know if you went the wrong way, because you're going to end up twisting your own knee and giving them a better bite on the ankle lock. But as soon as I feel this, I move my hip out, clear my heel, my foot is safe. And then of course now that I know he likes to do that, I'm going to be thinking about hiding my feet, not putting them in positions where he can just grab them up so easily here. But even here, guys, like Scott has a pretty good bite. This is pretty deep, but the hip comes up. I turn it just like a key turning in a lock. I free my heel, get my foot loose, and of course, protect your feet from there on.
Pretty sure that was Jessica's question.
Oh yeah?
Maddie's mom?
Yeah?
Yeah, like when people standing ankle lock you, they don't have the same control over your hip. What's that finger?
How to counter if they have stepped over?
Like Boston Crab style? Yeah, we'll do that too. But the big thing is like when people stand, use different escapes and on the ground because they don't have leg entanglement. And instead they're just making more angle.
Yeah, we have free hips. We're able to find an out a lot easier than if we have our legs
So if
isolated.
they step over, the only thing I can assume that would be if I step over
To go
on the
down.
inside. So, like this?
Is this what they're referring to?
Waiting for an answer.
It might be like you're coming through and turning the belly down too.
Yeah. For that one?
Well, doesn't Trevin like the knee bar from there?
This really, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Boston
bad for
Crab. I'd have to do like
me.
double
Yeah.
They step all the way over, belly down, yeah.
Okay, so step all the
To
way.
the outside or to the inside? Probably the legal way, right? To the outside?
Yeah, so if I step over this way, like I honestly don't have much control over his hip. There's not much there. If they step over inside, A is illegal
In most.
in most competitions. Like that.
Is this what they're referring to here?
It was the outside.
Goes
You
the
guys-
outside.
The other way? Yeah, so this way. Yeah, that's pretty, it's again pretty easy because my hips are free. If I just lift my hip, I can bring my leg inside here. It doesn't really have anything. Okay.
Oh, never mind. It was to the indie,
What was to the inside?
To the inside?
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if Trevor does
Keith,
that to you,
Jessica.
you wag your finger at him. Well, BS is stronger.
I just turn in, so I follow the direction he goes, okay? And from here, what I'm looking to do is get my weight on my hands, all right? right? And I can continue to rotate, and I just freed my heel. So this is the one time where I would say don't normally turn on a straight ankle lock defense, but the way my leg is positioned, he doesn't have the level of control. So I'm able to continue rotating and free my foot. Here, continue rotating. My heel just popped out, which you can't see on the other side. Now I'm able to get the leg. So let's look from here. Yep. Now, one thing guys, this is putting a lot of pressure on my knee, so I have to turn this way. As soon as I turn, my heel is free. If I don't turn with him, my knee is going to get hurt, which is why generally that's illegal to do in pretty much majority of competitions, to turn that way. This is essentially reaping my knee, so I have to turn with it to alleviate that tension. I continue to rotate. It turns my foot in a way that my heel gets freed again, just like we freed our heel from the standing one. Same thing, turning in a way that allows me to free my heel and pull my toes out. So hopefully that helps with that one. But if somebody's doing that, it depends on your academy rules, but generally we don't turn and twist the knee to the inside like that. Let's play prison rules. So big finger wag if anybody from here is doing that. You shouldn't be turning that way.
So we have a question, a follow-up on Williams guard
Okay.
or inverted De La Riva passing.
Invert De La Riva, they mean the reverse De La Riva? Or is there something that
I don't know. You
or a
want
new
the,
move I don't know?
do you want the Williams guard follow-up question?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that one first.
So what keeps him from jumping over the lower leg into side control? Are you locking the guard back up?
On the lapel one we showed?
In the Williams guard variation.
In the Williams guard variation? Yeah, you just need to keep the leg active. So if I play Williams guard, I get my overhook, I'm over here. You know, I'm playing my Williams guard. You notice this isn't that different. Here's rubber, gubber, I would be grabbing the lapel. It's all the same position. You know, everybody brands it differently. But from here, yeah, so I can't be lazy with this bottom leg. If I just leave that on the floor, he's gonna hop over it.
Also realize though that the right side of my body is completely exposed here. So as somebody who's savvy, if I felt Scott leaving this down for me to hop over, I know it's a setup. Because it's actually not that bad for him if I hop over here, as long as he continues attacking on that side. He would have to be very complacent here. He has this, right? He lets the leg be lazy. Literally, he's gonna have to allow himself to go all the way flat here and stop moving for me to ever put him in side control. If I continue to go over this leg and he's attacking on this side, there is no pass here. I'll just continue to circle and he's attached to that shoulder. He would literally have to disengage his body and let his shoulder come to the floor in order for me to pass into side control from that position. It'd be very, very unlikely that Scott would allow me to do that. Now, if you want to look at kind of the right way to approach if you're stuck there, let's go back. Right now, he has that side of my body isolated. This is not good for me, being at this angle. So the first thing that I would do if I was here, I'm going to adjust, and I'm going to shift everything to this side. Now, if I'm able to get over this leg, Scott's in trouble, because I've lowered the elevation of this shoulder, and I've taken away his ability to attack that side of my body. So that would be something that if I wanted to clear that leg to pass, I would need to do that first to make it safe for me to go in that direction.
Yeah, it's all about that head position. If I can keep his head away from my shoulder, I'm gonna win. If he gets his head over my shoulder, he's gonna win.
In theory.
But I'm still gonna
You're still gonna win.
I'm just not gonna quit.
Cool.
Yeah, that was good for that one.
What else?
That was the inverted deli.
Inverted reverse daily diva?
You have a question from Michael Blake of, is it possible to Imanari roll into a legal position and get an ankle lock or knee bar?
Yes. You can Imanari roll into a 50-50. But Michael Blake, you are a blue belt.
Yeah.
And you cannot knee bar from there in a competition. However, if you're rolling just here on our mats, of course, knee bars are legal.
Yeah, knee bars are okay for blue belts and above here, so yes, you could do that. Do you wanna demonstrate
Oh,
that?
Lordy, I'm gonna embarrass
Or-
myself in
I
that.
don't know.
Sorry. So we can do that. So
Where
some
do you
people
want
call it stand. Okay. Some people call it Imanari the inverted shot. So basically, there's two ways to Imanari. You can Imanari inside and outside, and it's just about kind of where your head goes and how you position your arm. But basically, if you just stand square for
Yeah.
me, just so we can drill this, because I've done this forever. So as I shoot my arm to the inside, my head goes to the inside. Both legs come up. So from here, I can break him down this way. Now I'm in 50-50.
Yeah, that's completely legal.
100% legal. No reaping at all. I'm in 50-50. I could technically land here, but I think this is going to be a little bit weaker because you don't have your outside oxygen control yet.
Yeah, this is stronger.
So I think this is better. You can own the knee. And then from here, there are some very good straight ankle locks. And then if I turn over, there's a knee bar, but I'm not good at that.
Yeah, can you do that again? Stop from the top. Stop when you came through before you knocked me over. You know, yes, yeah. And from here, what you can't do is go here. As long as he takes me to this side, he'll be good. Knocks me over, boom.
So the way Mr. Imanari does it, he'll a lot of times will either land in like the saddle position, but sometimes he will land in 50-50, but he's already there on the heel hook.
Yeah.
But if you Imanari 50-50, you're fine. I'd say a good person to watch and a very good instructor on that would be Ryan Hall. He's really good at rolling to that 50-50, and that would be a legal motion to do. So watch Ryan Hall.
Cool. Yeah, and guys, if there's any silver lining on this situation as far as from a perspective of learning, people are putting out a ton of free resources right now. And I know over on BJJ Fanatics, like they have like a 42% off all the videos on there right now, which is an incredible deal. If you want to go over, you can probably find some of Ryan Hall's stuff. I know Digi-Jitsu is also doing a big sale on all their stuff, so you could probably go out and find some Ryan Hall stuff to study during this time right now for way cheaper than it would normally be.
He's
But
excellent instructor.
yeah, even at full cost, more than worthy investment. He has a ton of wonderful stuff. Even his old videos have a ton of great information that still applies today.
He was killing people with a 50-50. His school is called 50-50 Jiu-Jitsu, if I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
right. Was there still that inverted / reverse
Reverse daily
Diva
debuff.
pass?
I don't exactly know what they were asking.
Okay,
If they're still on.
I'm assuming they meant the reverse daily debuff, so I'll show something from there.
Yeah, you kill my reverse telling you what show that.
So, yeah, either way. So I'm assuming this is the position they're referring to. If not, let us know. But from this position right here, especially if he's hooking under, there's an incredible amount of control here that he has. But the first thing I like to do from here is understand that any advancing forward in this position or staying up and allowing him to get underneath me is going to be very bad for me from here. So what I like to do from here right away is come down, okay? And after I go down, I need to move laterally to the other side. So I'm actually going to aim my knee, and I'm going to start to drive across to the side smash position here. Now you notice Scott had to let go, otherwise his arm was trapped with a lot of pressure on it. So you basically, whether you have the normal heel grip or he's scooping under, he has to let go when he feels me driving this way. So again, let's go over here. Even if you had the regular, go to the regular style hold, okay? From here, if I try to advance at all, very bad for me. I also want to make sure that this leg is not able to make me spit. Control me this way. See? So from here, when I come down, notice this is going inside his leg. I don't want to land here, because now he's, or you can still just keep me off of you, right? So when I come down, I go inside of this. Now, I switch directions. So you can even utilize this grip to help you. We're basically going to move sideways here. Okay, now we can cross them up, pass to this side, whatever we like to do. If he has the scoop, it's going to be a little bit harder, but we can still accomplish it. It's actually more pressure on him when I start going to that other side. When he has the scoop, come down, start moving this way, a lot of pressure there. But we can also look at exploring the other side if he gets lazy with this leg. Okay? Sometimes here, he won't really be thinking about keeping that connection. We can cross the leg here. If I cross the leg here, and come back, start coming to the other side. It's simply going to depend on where we feel the opening. Good?
Yep. So we have one question from Jiu-Jitsu by the Locks. I'd like to see some defenses against a certain female's lasso guard.
That's Michelle.
So quick.
Certain female. Is it a certain female named Becca?
No, I'm not lasso.
Oh, Katie.
Yeah.
Lasso.
Most important defense for somebody that does lasso.
Damn
Yeah,
purple
she
belt.
says damn purple belt.
Yeah. The best defense here is to go here and don't allow the lasso. That's the best, is the prevention here. So what I do, I point my elbow forward, I connect it to my leg. There's no lasso here anymore. If he tries to force the lasso, he's going to give me the pass. Okay? So elbow forward, hand to the inside of the knee. If he is able to establish it, okay, what we have to do here, if he gets the foot on the bicep, we have to use our leg and our arm together here to clear this first. Now, I deal with the other side. How do I deal with the other side? Same way. Frame, get the leg involved, turn the hand to the outside. Now from here, whatever you like to work, you want to get to the inside, all going to depend on your style. But again, if I know the person likes to play lasso, here, go here. No lasso anymore. Lasso involves allowing them to get to the outside of this arm, and you have to have an opening underneath for that position to work. So if you hide the arm and you position your arm in a way where the space disappears, very hard for somebody to do lasso. Lasso, usually when people get caught reaching or trying to use the arms to control the legs too much, that's kind of where we get stuck there.
What's that big smile? Becca's laughing.
I'm sure
So we have
Michelle's being inappropriate.
No, we've got a new question of, what's your favorite takedown for competition?
Someone just wants to see me get fired.
Yeah.
Who asked that?
Ashoka Trains.
Oh, it's one of Bryant's students.
Brian?
One of Bryant's students.
We're gonna have to
I think,
put the cameras up for that.
pretty sure that's one of Bryant's students. My favorite, obviously, is the fireman's. You guys just want to see Scott get thrown on his head. I don't know if I want to do that.
We'll have it up on BJJ Dictionary before too long.
You can throw me.
All right.
If you have energy.
Yeah, of course.
We didn't warm up before. Alright, yeah, we gotta make the frame bigger.
Do we need to raise up?
Probably need to move the lights out of the way too.
Well, I mean, as long as you guys cannot hit the lights, we're good.
Lights in the picture right now.
Nope.
Cool.
I think we can go around this line, it'll be fine.
How I like to set this up, I would prefer to not allow Scott to get grips on me. So usually the first thing I do when I approach is control this. Okay, and now I'm going for this grip. Sometimes they're not reaching with this. The challenge is they know I want to grab this collar. So what I do is I go low and get them thinking here. Like I'm trying to open this and now I'll come over the top. Okay, and then from here, always to the wrist control. Now what I want to make happen, I want to get an angle to get behind that knee with my lead leg, or what will end up being my lead leg. So usually from here, I'll circle. When I circle, I'm trying to achieve this angle. Here. Once I achieve this angle, I'm thinking about putting the near knee behind his far heel. So depending on where I'm at, sometimes I'm going to have to take a step. Now I'm dropping to both knees here. I'm going to keep tension on his collar. So just sit up so they can see my knee. Just rotate. My knee is behind his heel. My back is straight. And I would be pulling this as I drop and keeping my elbow in so that he is anchored here. And a big mistake people will make from here is to grab the leg. I don't want to grab the leg. I keep my head up, my back straight here, and this arm actually reaches where I want Scott to go, which is towards the far side here. Okay, so I'm just tilting him. So a lot of times I'll come up off of my heels so I have the elevation. Now, I'm going to reach where I want him to go, keeping this tension and tilting to that side. This should land me right into the side control if I do it correctly. The variation is a lot of times they'll get their grip first. He knows he's keeping me away by establishing this grip, but that's okay. We have another variation. Still gonna get the collar grab. Still gonna move to my ankle. But now I'm gonna grip his sleeve. Dropping into the same way, both elbows in, still tilting. Still tilting to the side, coming here. That's all Scott can take.
Oh, those are,
I'm pretty sure he can take more.
Those were gentle. Those were very gentle.
a big part of that you really feel when Foster demos it on you is how much he's keeping that collar tight when he drops.
Yeah, I don't want to drop and leave the hand behind. When I drop, I'm keeping that tension like I'm trying to bring my elbow to my hip. I'm not dropping and leaving the grip behind. I'm dropping, bringing him with me. He has no choice but to lay across the shoulders at that point. So there's a lot of, it's literally 300 pound, like a 300 pound anchor hanging from his collar, dropping like a trap door went out from underneath. This is why it's so effective and happens so quick. This is why everybody knows I'm gonna do it, and I'm still able to do it since 2007, I think. been doing that in competition. So there's a lot of footage. A lot of footage for those that want to study, and I'm sure somebody will eventually figure out how to stop it one of these days.
Just make a better one. One of the other side effects of this, and something I'll share, having learned the fireman's from you, is I never used to do fireman's because it would hurt my knees.
Yeah, same.
And when you really focus on just using that drop and keeping the elbow tight,
Yep.
the side effect of that is it's actually a gentler landing on your knees because they're carrying a lot of your weight.
Well, and traditionally, firemen, you keep one leg up and put one leg down, and that always would really hurt my knee on the leg I was keeping up. So that's why I started doing it this way. I always liked the drop seoinage, and I was like, well, I can combine the two, which I didn't invent anything in judo. This is called a kataguruma. So it's basically the fireman's version for judo. So fireman's carry in wrestling, but in judo, kataguruma would be more this technique and the style with which I do it. But there's a lot of different variations. So with takedowns, it's really a matter of finding one that works really well for you, and then just figuring out how you can do it from every scenario. It's not like you need to collect several different takedowns in your game. You just have to have one that you can execute on anybody.
Sometimes if you're thinking about competition, it might be good to look at kind of the competitive landscape, your weight class, whether you're fighting in a male or female division. All those things will kind of determine what kind of takedowns are available for you. People like
Different styles, right?
Yeah. You run into a bunch of big wrestlers or people who want to just stand tall or sit guard really quick. A lot of different options.
Yep. How's things over in the command center, Becca?
Nobody's asked any new questions.
They just love looking at us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to roll a little bit?
I can roll a little bit.
You want to see us roll a little bit? Maybe?
Yeah. Nobody's.
Nobody wants anything.
So we'll say this.
We got about 9 people.
Yeah?
Okay. If somebody sees something mid-roll and you're like, hey, what was that? Like, say something.
Yeah. I'm going to grab a drink of water and then we'll roll a little bit.
Continue with part 4 on everyday Mojada instruction.
Need a bottle of water, Scott? Are you good?
Okay.
Are you mentally preparing? How do you mentally prepare to roll with coach?
I mean, that's honestly, like, if I'm going to take it seriously, like a good question, like, how do you roll with your instructor, right? Because there is something to rolling with your instructor where, you know that, especially in coach's case, he's someone bigger than me, stronger than me, but he's my worst case scenario. Like, I can roll with him being scared of him, or I can roll with him like I want to take his head off. It'll depend on the day, but I know and I trust him that he's going to give me the energy that I give him. So I'm not going to go after his head if I don't think I can take it back from him. But I mean, there is something to just knowing that, there's different kinds of roles, especially with the instructor. Sometimes they're rolling for you, sometimes they're rolling for them. I don't know. But as far as mentally preparing, no, I just
have fun.
I have fun. I focus on my breathing and I try to stay on top.
Nice. All right. Slap, bump, and go. I'm going to be a 30-yard puller. Now, Scott gets to apply there we go, he has a different one he likes. I'm just going to hide here. Yep. Hands are good. The bright lights, I feel like I'm on the fight to win stage.
Yeah.
Michael Beltier is saying jujitsu chess. That would be cool.
Oh, we can jujitsu chess or
For people who don't know what that is, we do something here sometimes. Call it jiu-jitsu chess. So we'll demonstrate here in a second. But basically, we each get to pick one movement and trade back and forth with each person taking a turn. So in other words, like me choosing to grip his collar or his sleeve, that would be my move. And then he'll get to choose his next move. Back and forth, back and forth. Try to make it so it's one movement, like a grip placement or a shifting of the hips. Try not to cheat and do several moves at once. So usually we have one person start in the guard. Okay, bottom person usually gets the first move. So let's see, I'm gonna choose cross collar. Obviously, he wants to break the grip. So I'm going to switch my grip from here to his sleeve. Now. And my move is to shift my hip. This way out. Push this across. On the inside. Sit up. Other leg comes out. Sit back. I'm gonna sit over here. Grab the far arm. Put my knee down.
feeling very clear all of a sudden. Pancake out. Build my base.
Collar grip.
Inside knee comes up.
Outside knee comes up.
Start sitting away.
Stand.
Lapel grip.
Cartwheel. That might have been cheating. It might have been more than one movement.
Yeah, one movement. I should have just
Gotta
reversed Taylor Worm.
You gotta stop and
What else? That is jiu-jitsu chess. The fun thing about jiu-jitsu chess is a lot of times when we're training and we get caught up in rolling, we'll not think about why we're doing what we're doing. You should have a reasoning behind each movement you make so it's efficient. You're not wasting energy towards something that's not going to yield you some kind of benefit. And what doing that, the chess, jiu-jitsu chess rolling does, it forces you to think about why you're making the decisions you're making, because it allows you to slow down and actually recognize those. And if you notice you're getting caught in the same situation over and over again, it's really good, valuable information to use to fix holes in your game.
So I have an idea. Let's do one more round of jiu-jitsu chess,
Okay?
and let's talk through the entire, like, why we're making each decision.
Okay. Sounds good.
That's good?
Yep.
You want to start, everybody?
Yeah, you start down this time.
So
So Scott gets the first move here.
I like really, really low effort grips to start my guard game. So I'm just going to get the same side sleeve grip just to start to control the side of his body.
All right. Now, my thinking here is I know that he wants to isolate this side of my body. So there's two different lines of thinking here. One, I can approach this in a manner where I allow him to keep this and I continue to figure out ways to advance. Or I can decide to get rid of this grip right away if possible. So my choice from here is going to be to try to weaken this grip. So what I'm going to do is swim here. I'm going to get this position to break the grip. Now it's his turn.
So I've lost the grip on this side of his body, but in his defense, he's giving me an attack, and that's the space under his arm right here. So I'm going to take it as soon as possible in a way that is no effort on my part to make it so he can't take it back. So I'm just going to kind of put my knee and chin right there in front of him.
Right? So, and I understand that that's a threat. So for me, I don't like allowing him to control from the inside of my arm. So my move is just going to be simply to move the arm to the inside of the leg and abandon that position.
Now you'll see over on this side, when he starts to commit to this side, it starts giving me openings over here. This is how I want to play the guard. I don't want to keep attacking this arm. He's committed defense to it. I want to attack something else. So with this elbow a little forward and really extending that elbow back, I'm going to switch my hips to start changing my guard attack. Now, this elbow that was inside is now outside, is in danger.
Yep. So I recognize this danger again. This time what I'm doing is I'm going to disengage and move away. I know that staying in this range is dangerous for me. So I'm going to move back from here, disengage.
And so, me now, I'm at a disadvantage because I can't really reach him with my arms, and if I'm just playing with my legs, I'm only fighting with half my body. I don't want to stay here because I know he's going to grab my legs and pass. So my first thing here is I want to establish the guard with my legs. So I'm probably just going to go to a nice easy butterfly guard. And now the game has changed.
Now from here, Scott has the inside control of my body, which anytime he has the inside control of my body, he will be able to reestablish position. So the best thing I can do from here is I'm already at a major disadvantage, is to take my legs away. So my movement is to create the frames with the arms and take my legs away. So what I like to do, isolate one hip and control the inside of one leg, and here I'm sprawling back.
So this is a horrible position.
This is a hard position for me to hold, so I'm gonna put my knee down.
Right. So there's a ton of pressure on me. He's inside on this arm, and he's actually got this knee pinned. So right now, I'm already thinking, okay, my full guard is passed. I have to recover some kind of control, some kind of half guard. And if I don't know what to do, my default is inside control. So the one thing I have control of this foot, I'm going to slip this to the inside,
There we go.
right?
Yeah.
And even if his leg was up, I can still kind of slip it on the inside and keep it there.
The nice thing, and I was sprawled here, right? So the nice thing now about this position for me is I can stretch this leg and come around still. So that's kind of the thing about that style of passing, is it makes it really hard for the person to have a secure guard. They're kind of just trying to delay the inevitable at that point.
Yeah. It's just, when I throw my feet to the inside, a lot of that is just kind of anything I can do to slow him down, get an inch. And that's the kind of position where maybe if I am one step ahead of him and I can get 2 steps, I can recover.
And this
Going
is,
1 for 1, I'm going to get killed.
and I like maintaining these 2 grips once I complete that pass. So from here, now Scott's turn.
So my big thing at this point is head position. So his head is kind of in the middle. It's not all the way over my hip. It's not all the way over my shoulder. So I have to commit one direction to start escaping.
The Instagram video timed out.
Timed out? Should we start
Do you
back?
want me to share it to story?
Make sure you save the video. It'll ask you to save the video.
I have the option to share to story or delete video, so.
Share the story.
Yeah. And if YouTube can just give us a second to continue.
Yeah. And
If
then,
this is helpful,
Yeah.
people like this?
YouTube's got the most followers, so
okay.
I say keep going.
You start it back up. Start it back up on Instagram for the people who are watching on there.
There was only one.
And that was me.
Oh, okay, so everybody
Oh,
switched
okay.
to YouTube?
Yeah.
Cool,
There's
that's
the-
perfect, no worries.
It was mostly people popping in and out.
Okay, and YouTube's still going?
Is YouTube still going? I say let's leave it on just
Cool.
YouTube.
So, I
here's
had
this
the
next script.
I had my next script here, and now it's Scott's turn on
So,
the.
I feel that I can't go this way, right? So I know I'm gonna have to turn this way. So if I'm gonna do a turning in escape, I need his head way up here on this angle. I can't use my elbows, so right here I'm gonna scoop his head and get on my side.
Yeah, and effectively now I know that I don't have the ability to do anything with the grips that I have, so my grips are gonna switch to here.
So I'm being dominated on top right now as far as upper body ties. So my go-to, you know, back from when I was a 170 pound 6'3" person that had no muscle is I never want to fight muscle on muscle. So up here, he's got a really good control over me. He's going to be controlling my head with this arm. He's got a far side underhook. I can't really fight the upper body. So now my goal is fighting the lower body. So I'm just going to slip my inside knee between us. So I have a shin on the hip and my knee right between his legs right now.
Alright, so from here, my thinking is that I've already lost the battle in that he has his legs and his whole body versus what my arms are doing here. So what I would do in this situation is I would switch the hip to try to neutralize what his legs are doing. And I'm gonna maintain having my underhook here.
So this is killing my bottom leg, and now my top leg can't really get involved in this fight. So I don't really have any choice but now to fight the upper body, right? So right now this underhook is what feels the weakest to me, kind of because the rest of his body's pushing that way. So if I'm gonna choose to leave one thing behind, it's the underhook. So I'm gonna put my elbow inside once again and start
Yep.
pushing his head.
And now I know here that if I stay and I keep fighting this position, my right side is in danger. So again, you have to know when to disengage and quit fighting for the pass at that point. It's better to do a reset than it is to remain in this situation with leaving the arm behind and being at such a disadvantage. Distance-wise, I can't put any pressure on him here. So if I try to continue passing, I'm leaving this right side for attack. So for me, I would disengage and reset and continue to try to pass. So that's probably a good amount of detail on the exchange there.
When I was a younger jiu-jitsu competitor, I would watch senior competitors and I get really frustrated sometimes because they get like halfway to a pass and then they just bail. I'd be like, what are you doing? You were almost there. And that's a mark of a savvy competitor. Like, you kind of know when it's like, hey, this is too dangerous. I'm going to reset and re-engage.
Yeah, you have to know when to disengage and when continuing to advance is going to put you in danger. Generally, when you start feeling like you're really burning a lot of energy, it's not being approached in a technical manner, and that's kind of your indicator that, man, I've been fighting to make this happen, and if I continue to push, I'm not only going to get more tired, but I'm going to give the person an opening. So my thinking is better to have a little reset, straighten your mind out, straighten your breathing out, and reapproach it. You should learn something on every exchange. So if you're going in and I'm trying to pass in that manner, and Scott shuts it down, if I do that again, he's probably going to shut it down the same way. So I need to change my approach, whether I make modifications to the pass I was already doing, or whether I try something completely different, because I should be able to assess where he's blocking me and how he's doing it. And then I should be able to come up with an answer, or at least try to approach it in a way that kind of takes some of those defenses down.
Was that helpful?
Cool? Everybody's quiet?
Yeah, everybody's being super quiet.
All right. Well,
I hope that's
been
good.
60.
yeah.
Enthralled.
Been over an hour.
Yeah, it's been over an hour already.
We said we got one yes.
One yes?
Yeah.
All right, well, if everybody's good, if nobody has any other questions or anything, we just hit over the hour point, so we'll shut things down unless you guys have anything else for us. Just let us know. It was a pleasure being here with you on this lovely Saturday. I appreciate Scott coming out to do this. I know both of us were going a little stir crazy. We've actually been following the recommendations and keeping ourselves isolated and avoiding going out here for quite a while. Our academy was, we closed our academy down before it being made mandatory, essentially. So I'm encouraging.
You're on top.
I was a little ahead of the curve thanks to this guy and his predictions coming true based off of his data model, which sadly is one of the times you want to be wrong.
Yeah.
But it was valuable information for me in helping to make my decision and get out ahead of this thing a little bit. But I want to encourage other academies, if you're still open, just know that it's coming, that you're going to have to shut down and do everything you can to be prepared for that. I don't see this getting a lot better in a short period of time. I think this is going to take a while. So please be prepared for that. Have your students prepared for that. Provide your students with resources. Anything I do, like I said at the beginning, all available for you guys to give to your students to allow them to continue their at-home training and not only, even if they're not drilling, but just practicing retaining information, viewing new information and trying to learn during all of this. Very important to keep your mind active, keep your fitness up, do body weight exercise if you don't have any equipment at home. Lots of things you can do. Push-ups are challenging, guys, if you do them right. Like, if you do push-ups correctly, you should be getting a pretty good workout in. Same with body weight squats, all of these things. But academy leaders, man, reach out to your landlords, your property management. I've talked to several people that haven't done that. It should be one of the first things you do if you think you're going to end up having to close. You'd be surprised at how many property managers and landlords will work with you, because think about it this way. They need tenants to provide them with income with your rent. So if they're a jerk to you and they don't work with you through this, they're not going to have a tenant and they're going to have an empty space and that they have to try to fill in the aftermath of all this. So it makes a lot more sense for them to try to help you and try to work with you and know that they're going to have the space continue to be occupied and rent coming in once all of this blows over. So please, that should be one of the first things you do. Reach out, ask them what they can do to help you, even if it means they extend your lease by however much time that you're out, so you can pay up these payments at the end of your lease, whatever it may be. Like, don't take it for granted that they're going to be a jerk in this. We're all dealing with this for the first time. It's a lot of uncertainty, and the main way we're going to get through this is by working with each other, and I think people are starting to understand that more and more. So make sure you reach out to them, give them the benefit of the doubt, and see if they're not willing to help you. Anything else?
Elena asked, what would Bernardo do? No, just kidding.
Bernardo.
She asked, are you
She
doing
has
this
to tell
again?
me.
Okay, guys, it is great honor for me to be here today. James Strickler Foster,
She has to tell
three-time
me.
world champion.
She knows all the Bernardo stuff. Bernardo's awesome. He's another one of the ones doing a free video for you guys.
Yeah, he has all his videos on BJJ Fanatics for $77, and he is a $77 off coupon code.
Yeah, so
To
you
find
can go on there and
videos.
pick any one of his instructionals. He has really good stuff from DPAF Guard. I would highly recommend anything he shows from there. He's got a ton of good stuff. But make sure you're supporting each other, supporting the community in whatever way you can, reaching out to people, asking if they need help. Just be as selfless as possible, even though we're in a time where we're very much having to be aware and think of ourselves during all this. We need to make sure we're putting into consideration helping people who maybe aren't handling this situation as well, and make sure we're there for them to provide whatever support we can. Sometimes it's just somebody to listen to and share your stress with, just having a sounding board. I know for me, Scott helped me a lot with that. We help each other through this, because This is definitely something if you're somebody that deals with anxiety and different pressures and everything, like everybody's gonna handle it differently, so it's good to have people to talk to, that you can relate to and bounce things off of.
And if you're one of those people who are feeling super anxious, reach out, talk to your friends, your community. If you're somebody who's feeling more comfortable, let yourself be known as someone who'd be willing to listen. You know, it really helps.
Definitely.
We're all here for each other. This is just getting started. We're going to be in this a couple months. You know?
And he's been right on everything so far, so I'm really hoping he's wrong.
Yeah, I want to
But
be
he's
wrong.
been very right this whole time, like down to predicting when the Seattle School District was gonna close and several other things, so let's make sure we're taking this seriously and making sure we're helping each other through it. We will get through it together.
So the actual question from Elena was, are you doing this again?
Yes,
And
Yeah.
absolutely.
any idea when?
I don't know.
Okay,
We'll figure it out.
to be announced, okay.
Soonish.
We'll post on all the social
Yeah, I'll
media.
post on all the social
It
media.
depends. How many likes did we get? How many likes and subscribes? I do it for.
That's good.
I do it for the
Thumbs
social.
up.
The social media credits.
Yeah,
You can convert those to dollars.
yeah.
right?
Like in South Park,
Yeah.
all the virtual.
Want that
ones.
internet money.
All right, guys. Well, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll do this again real soon. Take care.
Sponsored by Fight Milk.